What's up, dude?
What's up, dude?
This is my good buddy, Dennis. So Dennis and I went to high school together. Tell me what you do, Dennis.
Yeah, so my company's called DS Mapping Solutions. We're out here today at the Desperado laser scanning, man. So we're using lidar, and what lidar does is makes a 3D point cloud that we'll use to generate floor plans, site plans, topo maps, really almost anything that you want to try to help the efforts out here at the Desperado move nice and smooth.
So we're in the burned down building here. And if we were gonna go to an architect and we're like, hey, we wanna take this burned down building and we wanna make it into something cool, an outdoor, restaurant, bar kind of area, get some drinks out here, they would have to come in here and measure everything, and they'd have to make a lot of site visits to make sure, like, where are the windows, where are the doorways, where is the sun coming in? Yeah, whereas if you create a 3D model for them, then they can look at it all from their desk. They don't have to take as many trips out there. They don't have to spend as much time and effort measuring.
Man, it sure makes your life a heck of a lot easier.
This thing is scanning with lidar. What is lidar?
Yeah, lidar stands for light detection and ranging. So this thing is sending out a pulse of light, and it's bouncing off of everything within line of sight 2 million times a second.
So when you say line of sight, you mean like it hits that building way over there?
Oh yeah.
It goes, if it can see through these windows to like the pool house over there, it'll see that and map it as well.
Yeah, it's mapping everything it can see from this spot right here.
And is it measuring it to where it knows exactly how far everything is away?
Yeah.
It's like a bat sonar, but it just works better.
That's it, and that's how it makes its measurements. So it measures the amount of time it takes for the beam of light to leave the sensor, bounces off of a wall, and comes back. And so it calculates the amount of time it took to do that, 2 million times a second, in order to figure out our floor plans and all the other stuff.
And then you move it to the next room and do the same thing?
That's it.
And then do you have to tell it where this one is? Or does it just know where it is?
This actually kind of knows where it is. It's got GPS.
Okay.
So we're in an open, burned up building here, so that helps.
It does help, yeah.
Move a little faster, but.
And so you put it in little key spots everywhere, and it just stitches it all together and makes a 3D rendering of this burned down building.
Yeah, that's it, man.
What does it do for the stuff like on top where it can't see? Does it kind of guess?
Yeah, so there's definitely some occlusion, so stuff that it misses.
Yeah.
But because it knows where it is in space, it'll figure out, the thickness of the walls, so we'll get a pretty good idea of what's on top.
That is pretty cool. So what about, you were talking about a drone too. Does your drone use lidar?
So speaking of the stuff on top, we'll use the drone to make the point cloud as well, using something called photogrammetry.
Okay, so it's different.
It's different, but we can marry all that information up together with what we do on the ground with the scanner and with the drone, and give us a complete model and map of everything.
It's pretty epic. So Dennis was telling me that this stuff can be used by everyone from my general contractor to the architects. We gotta figure out also, we gotta get some engineers in here and tell us like what is a safe wall and what is not. Like there's some obvious parts like this that are already crumbling away. They're not safe to put some tables over there. So everyone can use this. It's not CAD, is it CAD? What's the program they would open it in?
Yeah,
it is.
We can put it into AutoCAD, Revit, there's a 3D CAD program. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
And that guy can use it, the architects, designers, the interior decorator can use this later. Like every step along the way, they're gonna be able to use the imagery. You call it imagery? What do you call it?
I call it imagery.
Yeah, I'm new to all this. I did not know what lidar was a week ago, so I'm figuring all this out. This is really cool. So that thing's just scanning over there, huh?
Bringing the future to the Desperado.
Yeah, that's right. Which it needs it a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. How many points for a building like this that has all these kind of rooms? How many points do you put that thing in?
Yeah, we'll probably move this thing 25 times around this building. Yeah.
Sweet.
So just want to, make sure we have continuity. Want to have good coverage.
Yeah. Like
we're painting a picture with it.
That makes sense. And if you see a hole, you can go, I need to fill that in. You go set it over there or something. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is this buzzing it's doing?
So that's the mirror. That's where the laser's shooting out from right there.
So I'm getting hit with invisible lasers right now.
That's it. We had to scan you, Matt. We need a 3D model.
Can you make the muscles bigger? Just like in the bicep area, just like.
Dude, we can do whatever you want.
That's what I actually got him here for. We just move locations here. So now this thing's scanning and we're supposed to get out of the way so it doesn't scan us, because we need to get that line of sight so it can see, you know, where that wall is and see if we want to keep that. So it'll just like stitch all these things together apparently, and we'll be able to look at it 3D, be able to like, I guess like fly through it, right? Mm-hmm. Be able to just like kind of fly your computer through it and look at it from whatever angle you want.
Yeah, you can fly through the point cloud.
When you get a drone and you fly it around too, you can make a 3D map to where we could just like know exactly, like, you know what, how are people going to get from, you know, their room over there to the restaurant over here, and we need to put a sidewalk in, or we need to make sure the trash cans are not in the way or whatever, like stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll fly a map, fly a drone over this and make a map, and stitch a bunch of pictures together and make what's called an orthomosaic, and we can GPS it, and it'll be really accurate.
That is pretty wild. It's all the stuff that I don't think about, because I'm like, you know, I'm out here and I'm like, I just want to knock over that building with my 5-ton. And oh yeah, Dennis did get a nail through his foot today already, so let's not make it 2.
Yeah, let's not make it 2.
Just noticed these, I think these are called elephant ears, and they're in little planters. So this actually was in between 2 buildings, and I think it had like a shed roof, but I think it might have been open air. And there was a fountain here. You can see, I think that's a copper. Yeah, so there was a fountain here with like a jaguar head. And I actually have pictures of that, but there's the top of the jaguar head. I think it came out of its mouth. And then there's just more little planters.
I think you should keep these. I think they really add a nice aesthetic.
Right?
To this room.
What's crazy is this building burned down, and I assume these were planted in there, and I assume they all died back because there was a fire here. I mean, there's like, this glass is all like super thick, and it obviously melted and then rehardened. So those had to have all died, and the roof fell down on top of them, and then we're in a Texas drought, and they're still alive.
Elephant ears. That's all I need to plant in my house.
Just
I can't keep anything alive.
Yeah, just plant those everywhere here. That's wild. I just realized that there are these little bitty planters, and they are still live, though a little dried, but they're live plants growing out here.
Wild.
Pretty crazy. Leica?
This is called the RTC 360.
Okay.
This is a terrestrial laser scanner.
Where is Leica? Is the company called Leica, or the machine is?
Leica's the name of the company.
Where are they based out of?
Switzerland, I think.
Actually, my Instagram has been feeding me Switzerland pictures.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's just the most beautiful views. Like, I like views, so it's got like mountains and waterfalls and these like quaint little towns. And so anyway, I want to go to Switzerland now.
We got a view right here. No?
That's true. Look.
Well, we got the Texas Hill Country right here.
Got this burned down building and a beautiful view. It's gonna be great. We're up in one of the cliff overlook buildings. We're on the top floor here with the cool vaulted ceilings. Huh?
The honeymoon suite.
The honeymoon suite, yep. And we're gonna scan the inside of this building now. But you can also see we've cleared out all the carpet, all the furniture, everything. Just try to, it's going. We gotta get out of the way. But also emptied out the bathroom. So these are pretty good. We just stripped them, but the bones are all solid in this. And so we're not gonna move any walls, I don't think, in here. Hide in the closet. Come out of the closet, dude. But we just kind of stripped everything so we can start fresh. So we're getting the scanning so we can pass that on to the interior designers, who can come in here and go, here's where you want sinks, here's where you want cabinets, desks, beds, all that kind of stuff, and figure all that stuff out for us. So this will make it way easier for them to kind of plan. They can get a bed, 3D model bed, and put it in the 3D model room. Look at that action.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Epic.
Lasers.
What's out here? Oh, it's outdoors. We kind of got to pick and choose on this property what we're going to tackle first. And so we decided the main, like, burn down building, because that's where we want to put a restaurant so you can have food. And then these buildings are kind of the easiest, since we're not really tearing out ceilings. They don't need new roofs. Get this done so people can stay here. Get that done so people can eat here. And then technically we can start having guests. So that's why I have Dennis focusing on these things first, kind of the more important buildings. And then we'll have a freaking resort.
All right.
Only like 10 people can stay here at a time, but it'll be great. But then we piecemeal and start fixing up the next cabin and the next building and making it more and more, so that you guys can come stay at this awesome resort and look out at that awesome pasture and that awesome river. See the axis herds. What about glass? Does that lidar shoot straight through glass?
It will, yeah.
Or it doesn't bounce off?
Sometimes it does some funny stuff in the scan. You gotta edit it a little bit.
Gotcha.
But
it's just like visual light. It just shoots through there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is just a, pared down version of what will be on the computer later. But here we're looking at this room and the.
So is this a picture?
So this is the actual scan.
Crazy.
From what the laser's making, and everything in here is measurable. This is what we'll pull into the computer later. Take a shot on this wall here. We can get the.
Oh, that's cool.
So to that other wall, where it's in inches, 228 inches.
Yeah. So, will you, in a room this size, will you put that thing in multiple spots?
Yeah, we'll move it around a few times to make sure we get every nook and cranny.
Gotcha. Yeah, because it can't see on the other side of these beams, so you'd want to have it on other spots. Been a few days. Dennis has been working, and what do you got here?
All right, Matt. So
this is pretty cool.
We were out with the drone the other day, and we took a bunch of pictures that we stitched together to make a orthomosaic and point cloud of the Desperado. So
this is all drone here.
This is all from the drone.
Okay. Not any of the ground stuff you took.
No, let's see. All those little blue tiles there are a picture that
that's insane. And it just stitches all those together.
Stitches them all together, and it makes this nice 3D point cloud here that we can kind of maneuver around and check out the buildings and the trees and.
Yeah, that is cool.
The topo, yeah, it's super useful.
So you can see, like, it doesn't see everything. You can see this tree doesn't have a trunk in there.
Right, yeah, so it's just taking top-down photos and stitching everything together. So the laser scan that we did the other day, that's what we use to fill in the gaps and everything else. We get on-the-ground information, so
this is just all stuff the drone shot. Can you go look at the road that we're cutting? Because that's kind of cool to see that and be able to, like, zoom around it.
Yeah, let's check that out.
So you can see that big road that we've been going up and down, trying to move dirt from.
Yeah, so you guys are gonna blast up here somewhere, you were saying?
Yeah.
So we're gonna
have to, it's all rock there.
It's all rock. Yeah, so we can use this to, calculate the amount of dirt that's gonna come out of there.
It's gonna be hard to see on a camera, but you can see those little lines. Every line is a foot.
Here, maybe you can see right here on the.
Yeah, right there where they're way more spaced out is where it's pretty flat, and then as they go up the hill, you can see them. They're a lot closer together because it's much steeper there. So that's where we need to knock all this down and have our slope real gradual.
Nice
through there.
Gradual slope right here.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so the great thing about doing this with the drone is the time and the cost savings. So, what would normally take a crew of guys to do this over the course of a week or more, we can do this in about a day in the field. And so, and then post-processing, it takes a couple of days. And so.
Now, is that a couple of days of you working, or is it like the computer just has to like spend a lot of time? Probably both.
Both.
Yeah.
These programs are pretty heavy duty.
Yeah.
I had to set it up on a nice gaming computer.
One that can really process hard.
I'm gonna have to get into Call of Duty now.
Can you show the possible waste of time that I had you do with the building that?
Oh yeah.
So he scanned the entire lodge building because we were planning on, really putting a lot of effort into that. And then we realized we need to knock it all down, but it looks cool, so we might as well get something out of it and show you guys. So this is not drone, this is laser scanner, and this is the beautiful building that's trash, and we're gonna knock it down now.
Yeah, so this is similar type of information, still a point cloud, but you can kind of see these little round spots right here.
Yeah, is that where you were sitting?
Yeah, that's the tripod from the laser scanner.
Interesting.
Just like we did on the burned down building over there. So we walked all the way around, moved the tripod to different spots, inside and outside.
Yeah, you can see how many different spots you put it at.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And so there's some really neat stuff we can do with this, but since we're gonna knock this building down, let's just pretend that the building's not there anymore.
Oh, that's crazy. So yeah, you scan from the inside too, so.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna wipe that building out and put a fresh new building there.
So this is showing just top down everything was scanned. You can see the top floor, you can see the bottom floor, inside and outside the building. And that was all, this is no drone, right?
No drone, no,
Okay.
no drone, but the point cloud, we had our drafting guys, model this building and draw the line work so that the designers could use it to plan and daydream and visualize. So we made this nice little video just to put everything together in one spot.
It's very cool. And not very useful for us anymore after we found out that building totally is trash. So here's the burned down building. You guys saw us actually scanning this thing, and we have since cleaned it out a little more, but this will allow us to see all the walls.
I was hoping that we'd get a nice scan of you, Matt, but
Yeah,
I think you moved. Or
I was trying to hide. You told me to hide.
Yeah.
You can see there's a couple dudes standing there, and we kind of had moved out of the way, so we're a little smeared, but
Yeah.
it's a person right there. That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, this is inside the ruins.
I think we're gonna put an enclosed building over here for like indoor dining and kitchen and stuff, but out here we want it to be kind of an outdoor patio feel.
Okay.
Drinks and bar food and that kind of stuff where you can sit out because the river, the bluffs here and the river's all down there.
Okay.
Just a really pretty view and an outdoor dining area, but kind of keep the ruins vibe. I think would be.
Yeah.
That's the goal, is to just kind of, that'll be like the main centerpiece of the place, and it's just got a ruins that has turned into a really cool outdoor dining place.
Well, that's great, and that's good for us to know. So when we're drawing this up, we want to make sure that we're going to use this to draw a map, and we're going to put a scaled plan of this on a piece of paper that the designers are going to use to put Matt's ideas on, bring them to life.
Yeah. Call of Duty, if you're watching, we have all this mapped already. We can send you this 3D model, and you can make a whole Desperado, just a Desperado ruins map. It'd be so cool. I mean, think about running through there with all your buddies, shooting the bad guys.
I hadn't played Call of Duty in a while, but like Halo used to have level names like that.
Yeah.
Like Desperado.
Desperado, yep. Blood Gulch. Trying to figure out whose vehicles these are down here, because what is that, an FJ Cruiser? Enhance. Yeah, that's, oops, I don't know what I just did. I think I broke it. Figured out, so this is Dennis's truck, but this is someone else's vehicle who you were driving that day, and he said these are 2 different days, so these are just images that are stitched together.
Yeah, so over the course of the week,
And obviously this is off to the side, this is not relevant stuff, but I just was like, what is that? I thought that was a Bronco at first, but then I was like, that's not a Bronco. I just thought you guys would kind of think that, kind of the planning stage is cool. We did a little bit of that when we did the Abandoned Mansion series. I showed you guys some of the, the hand drawings and stuff as we were planning the house, and you guys seem to like it. So this is something that we had never done before. Dennis just reached out and said he was doing this stuff. But anyway, if you guys want to do it for any of y'all's projects, I'll link Dennis's website, DS Mapping, in the description below. And probably more to come. We have more buildings to scan out here, and we're going to keep just trying to grow them. But there's a lot of planning going into this. It's not all knocking down buildings and just knowing what to do. So thanks for the help. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us out here.
You're welcome. Now back to knocking stuff down. How about an update on the road? Check this thing out. We have dug probably 10 feet down. You can tell by that excavator right there. It's probably a 10-foot drop from right there to right there, just so we can get this thing as wide as possible. We need it to be 2 lanes wide, which is actually wider than 2 lanes wide, because you have to have room on the downside for a shoulder so no one falls down the hill if they accidentally, drop a tire off the side of the road. You also have room for a drainage ditch on the high side of the road, because water is going to be coming right down this hill and pouring right there, and you need a place for it to go so you can, have it run down the road and then go into a culvert underneath the road at some point. So it's probably 3 cars, a little more than 3 cars wide once you have both lanes and the ditch and the shoulder. So we're having to dig a lot. This road, way more expensive than I thought. This rock does not help, but also it's just wider than I thought, because I hadn't really thought it through. I was like, yeah, 2 lanes wide, that's like 16 feet wide. No, that's not true at all. It's like over 20 feet wide. So it's just having to go really big. Overall, on this freaking road, spent like $30,000 already. Yikes. Yikes. That's a lot of money that I hadn't really, planned on spending in the last week. You can see how much material that excavator is rolling on right now. That is all going to be hauled out of here. So he is pulling it away from here and putting it all in a big pile there that we are coming down with the dump truck to get and haul off. We are moving tons of fill out, which is great because this is all freaking excellent fill. It's working great for our road base, which is where we are taking it all right now. Let's get an update on that. All this rock is gonna make it way more expensive because we can't just rent an excavator and have a guy come out and dig it out. We're gonna have to get very creative with how we get this out, which creative means money. I see you. It's our dad. Why do you guys let him hang out with y'all? He is not one of you. I think that's actually a girl. If that is in fact an aoudad. This road leads back to the range, and we've probably put about half of the base on it that we need to. And so you can see in my rearview mirror, it's very dusty out here. Whenever it's dry, this stuff dusts up a lot, which is not great, but at least the road is, drivable. We want it to be to where people can come out here with just a small amount of ground clearance and still make it out here. Like the dirt road is passable enough for that. And so we're slowly putting this base down, having skid steers and rock crushers come out and just smooth it all out and make it towards, passable, because we want everybody to be able to come out here and use this thing. We don't want you to have a freaking, jacked up truck to make it out here. All right, so that's where the road just ended. So now, I don't know if you can tell, but the road gets a lot bumpier right here. This is just the dirt that was already out here, not the fill that we brought in. And to combat this dust out here, we're just going to asphalt this entire, I'm just kidding, that'd be really expensive. But what's not really expensive is asphalt milling. So that's kind of my plan. That's what they do when they put a new highway down. They chip up the old highway and they get just all that gravel basically. And so I want to come put all that gravel down here. It kind of, in the Texas heat, will sort of melt back together a little bit. It makes a really hard pack and it's not dusty at all. That's later on down the road though, when we make a little more money, because it's not expensive, but we have a long road, so it's not cheap. But this stuff will work for the time being. It's pretty good against rain. It won't like wash away or anything. Plus it raises the road up a little bit, so it won't have puddles and standing water and just mud pits when it rains. This stuff doesn't get all muddy like the brown dirt over there. But you can see how dusty it is. Eventually we'd like to keep that down, but overall the resort is coming together. It's just very stressful because it's very expensive right now. We got guys running skid steers, we got guys running my dump truck, we have guys running the excavator, digging out the road. We're gonna have to get some professional crews in here to get through the rock. And then of course you saw the planning in future builds. We're doing all that too. So everything is costing money right now. Nothing is making money. So Matt is a little bit stressed. But I remember this feeling with the house too. We did this with the Abandoned Mansion series where it was like, holy cow, this is a lot worse than we thought. And we made it through. So one foot in front of the other. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Renovating an Abandoned Resort. I love you, and I'll see you next time. As long as the bank allows it.